Right, guys, so now let's work within this firewall, and we just gonna make sure the firewall also really works fine, right? So the firewall, all we're gonna do is when we click on this, and if it is enabled, just gonna set the color to different color, then we change the text to be disabled, then we see our firewall is enabled or disabled, right? Then these guys is going to pop up the quick scan, is going to pop up and perform a quick scan, is going to pop up and perform, a system scan, and this is going to do a quick scan as well. This is going to open the VPN, switch to that tab and do a whole lot of things, right? So yeah, so with this add symbol, I'm just going to remove this and the vulnerability out from there. So I'll just go inside my dashboard here. I'm just going to take this out, since I don't want it to be the same thing as where we are copying from. So I'm just going to add this here. That's good. Okay, so just push this way back, just make sure everything is cool. That's it. Okay, so this is going to be for the scanning, and this is a quick scan, this is a system scan, this is a VPN, right? Okay, so all we're gonna do for the dashboard is very simple. First of all, we're just gonna make actions to these guys, right? So with these guys, when I click on this, I just want to say frm scan dot show dialog, and frm dot scan dot my button one dot perform click, right? That is going to be we just have to see from the scan, and we're just going to say quick scan. So this is is it picture box 2, right? So that is picture box 2. So I'm just going to go here, right, dashboard, and I'm going to say picture box 2 dot perform click, right? Okay, so picture box 2 cannot perform click. So what I'm going to say is, let's then go back to the FRM scan, and let's go here. So inside the picture box 2, this is what we have, right? So let's just copy this, and let's come to the dashboard, and in here just gonna do this, and we're just gonna say FRM scan dot, copy that, just apply it here. Okay, so wherever you want to do this, so the search option, we just have to add one import here, and that should really work. System.io. Good. So there you go, we are good to go. Perfect. So that is for this, and this is going to be, literally it's going to be the same thing. So we're just going to go to the scan and click on this, make this work, copy that, and let's just come here and bring this. But first of all, just have to bring frm scan to show dialog. Okay, okay, right. Okay, so we're just gonna copy this frm scan, then we paste it here, 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 and here, and I think here. That's cool. So yeah, we are good to go. So we're just gonna go back to the dashboard, then with the VPN we're just gonna say the VPN button. So let's see, where is it? Form 1, privacy, BTN privacy, right? So we're just gonna say with this, we're just gonna say form 1 dot BTN privacy dot perform click, just like that, right? Okay, so this guy, this recommended, I can say process dot start. um so just gonna redirect the person to our website. So it's gonna be process dot start my strange dot help link, just like this. And here you're just gonna say um let's use a boolean. So I'm just gonna say dim is active as boolean. Okay, and let's set this to false by default. Okay, so now what we are saying is, okay, if is active equals to false, then is active equals to true, then we say my button one dot text should set up to um, disable, just like this. So we have enable here. So after clicking it, it will just turn it out to disable. Then we have, bottom color and then the top color. So the bottom color is going to be the dark red, and then the top color is going to be the red, right? The bottom color is going to be dark red and the top color is going to be red. So you just say my button one dot bottom color is going to be color dot red. My dot button yes, my button one dot top color right, top color equals to color dot let's use dark red. Okay, so that is it. So we say else if is active come on, equals to true, then this happens. So we're just gonna set is active back to false. So just gonna set this to false. Okay, then we set this to enable, right? Okay, then my button is gonna be set back to, so this is Dodger blue, and that is blue, that is bottom is Dodger blue. So the bottom is Dodger blue and this is blue. Okay, perfect. Now we have to create the function which is going to enable the VPN. Basically we have to create it, right? We have to create it. This is very, very important. So let's see with the firewall aspect. I would like to go to my functions and do that in here somewhere here. Good. So I'm just going to say public shared function, public shared, let's call this enable firewall. Okay, so this is gonna be enable firewall. Okay, so we're just gonna declare firewall as new process. Okay, then we're just gonna say firewall dot start info dot file name. Okay, and this is going to be cmd.exe, just like this. Okay, then we say firewall dot start info dot working directory equal to somewhere, and this directory is equal to Windows, then system 32, just like this. and you just want to say firewall dot start info dot argument, and this argument is also going to be the C of this, and we just add this code line to the CMD. Okay, set the mode to enabled. Okay, so after this we just want to say firewall dot start. Then when this starts, we are good to go. Excellent. So this is start, so just gonna say MSG box. Let's add the MSG box, then we say firewall enabled successfully, and I am going to use MSG box style dot information, and I say attention. All right. Okay, so the same thing applies to disable, so I'm just gonna copy this and I'll just put this here, say disable. Okay, good. And this is actually going to be the same thing, but just here is going to be disable. Okay, so so you're just going to say this disabled successfully. Right, perfect. So now let's go back to our dashboard, and we say if it is enabled. After all this is done, we're just going to say my functions dot enabled firewall. Just copy this, then we're just gonna say my functions dot disabled firewall. So this really looks great. So we can, that's it. This is actually going to tell you that okay, you are connected or not, right? Okay, so by default every computer has their firewall to be enabled. So what we're going to say is firewall status. Let's set it up to be boolean, and let's set it up to be true, because most of them are set to true. So we're going to say that in that function, after this is done, just going to say my.settings dot firewall equal to true. My.settings dot firewall equals to 2. Then we say my.settings dot save. Just gonna save that. Then here too is just gonna be false. Okay, so we just gonna start up to see if my settings is true, then this should happen. If my settings is false, then the other thing should happen, right? If it is active, then this should happen. If it is not active, then this should happen. So all we're going to do is go to the dashboard here, then select load event. There you go. So you're just going to say if my dot settings dot firewall equals to true, then set this to is active, right? Then is active equals true. So just gonna copy is active equal to true. Then we set the button is active equal to true. Yes. Then we set the button colors to this, right? That's all. Else we just set this to false. Okay, so if it is true, here, we set this to true, right? Okay, if it is false, then we set this to false. Then we just copy these colors just like that. Then we just paste it right way after this. Okay, That looks perfect. So let's try this software and let's see how it actually looks like. All right, so there you go. So when I click on this, there you go. Firewall is disabled successfully, but the color is actually not working and the text is actually not working. So, firewall is enabled successfully. No, that shouldn't really. Disabled successfully, enabled successfully, disabled for successfully. Okay, so basically by default, if it is we will say if it is enabled, then if the firewall is true, then sets active to true. Basically it is false, so we just have to remove this. Okay, it just overrides this. It just overrides this. We can just take this off. If it is true, we're just gonna set it to true. If it is false, else. If mine.settings.firewall equals false, then we set this also to false. That means this is going to be wait a minute. So is going to be enabled, so this is going to be disabled, right? The blue is going to be disabled. So you say enabled, right? Okay, so if it is false, it means disabled. If it is false, it means if it is true, if activate is true, then it means set false is enabled. Okay, false, then set this to true, say disabled. Perfect. So let's just go here and set this back to enabled. So that means it is already enabled. Let's click on this. Okay, okay, so it is enabled. There you go. So we have to reciprocate the colors, because if it is enabled, it shouldn't be red, right? If it is enabled, it shouldn't be red. So we just have to reciprocate the colors. Let's bring this color way here, then let's bring this color way here. Perfect, just like this. And now it should work then. Okay, so now it is enabled. Okay, so it is enabled successfully. So we have to reciprocate that code as well. Disabled, and now it is enabled. Okay, so it is enabled. So we just have to bring I think we have to set this guy. Let's bring this function here, then let's bring this function here. Excellent. So let's start it again. I think this is going to be for the last time, because everything seems to be working perfectly fine and we are good to go. Okay, so now it is enabled. So this is enabled, disabled, right? So what we're gonna say is if when this loads, we just have to set this. If this is true, then set this to true, then we set a text to disabled, right? Else we just set this to enabled, right? Okay, so if it is true, then set this to true, then set the color to red, say okay, let's see. All right, so it is enabled. Let's see, disabled, save. Let's close this. Yes, let's just restart it again and let's see if it is disabled already there, and that is actually going to make it look super. Okay, so that's it. Good. So, guys, I believe you have fully understand what I'm trying to say here, and yeah. So we are nearly done. We are nearly done. So we are done with this. 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 So on our next video, we're just gonna see how we can go in within the account with the activation section. That is where we're gonna activate to make sure this guy is gone. Right? Just gonna make sure this guy is gone. So I'm just gonna bring this guy here and bring these two guys here, then bring this here for easy assessment, just like that. So just gonna make sure this guy is gone and gone for good. So when this guy is gone, then this trial needs to be removal, then we see the way forward. And also the settings section is also required, so we're just gonna work within the settings later. Yeah, just gonna work within the real-time protection and all these guys, just gonna work within them, and everything is gonna be quite awesome, right? Okay, thank you very much, guys, and until we meet again on our next lesson, have a nice day. And Isoft Original is out. Bye bye.